quick update on where we are with the weather and wind maps or wind information. So you've probably seen previous things. I was able to work out the wind directions on various runways using a bit of maths and the airport runway information. So what I've done is build a test on this, and having thinking about it, tables are probably not the best way. I realised that we have maps, and on the maps we can put where the runways are and also where the wind's coming from. So this is an example of Boston. It's on a test harness at the moment. You can see the wind is from 3307, so runway 33 has a 7 knot headwind component, and then all the others show you a headwind component 4, crosswind from the right at 6, and obviously here we have a headwind component 7 on this small runway, or these will have crosswind components north south, and obviously down here we have a headwind 7, crosswind 1, slightly less crosswind on this one. So you can see this is quite useful for very complex airports. Just to show you a perfect example of Bristol in the UK, classic 100% headwind 5 knots straight down the runway 270. And if we go and look at somewhere with a crosswind, somewhere like Southampton, which is single one way, there you'll see there's a crosswind, headwind 4 on 02, tailwind 4, the crosswind is 5 knots in all directions effectively, because near on 100% or near on a high percentage crosswind component. So we can look at others just for randomness, just to have a look around, and there is San Francisco, so you can see 2704. So these are probably the 2/8 are right, the 4 knots, a small crosswind component. Whilst if you go to somewhere complicated like Amsterdam, you can see that it shows that obviously there are a number of runways, and the best runway at the moment is probably, well, there's a small runway there which you wouldn't use, or 24 you'd probably use, but these other runways, you can see headwind component, they're 11 knots, headwind component 10 knots, but these crosswinds of 3 and 5. Now obviously if you've got ATIS you don't need this, but this is really useful to work out what runways to use at unmanned airports and things like that. Now obviously there are going to be things like noise abatement and other rules that come into play, but this is a good indicator hopefully with some visual representation.